Here to look at generative AI, the art of the possible. We're going to focus on how do you supercharge your GenAI leveraging your own data and the Retrieval-Augmented Generation model. Lots of talk these days about training models, fine-tuning, and other ways to optimize for your specific use case. But let's look at the RAG model, as it's known as, and what it can do for you. So the RAG model, again, is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. It combines the best of a parametric probability-based language model with a retrieval-based knowledge store. Great for knowledge-intensive tasks where external knowledge is needed. How does it work? So let's meet Carol. Carol works for WKRP Broadcasting Company and oversees advertising revenue. Her boss just asked her, Carol, how much ad revenue did we have in 2023? Carol has no idea. How can Carol find this information? So she could ask finance for financial reports or talk to accounting, but she first wants to try to look it up on her own. Carol initially enters her question into ChatGPT. Big mistake. It comes back with a default, I have no idea, my training data goes through 2021. It recommends reaching out to WKRP Broadcasting Company, which is of no help because she works there. So Carol's coworker, Sally, reminds her that her company just implemented WKRP GPT. Great, she thinks, I'll try that. So Carol enters her question into her corporate WKRP GPT. So WKRP GPT is built using the Retrieval-Augmented Generation approach. This model has access to an extensive corporate knowledge bank to answer questions. So Carol enters her question now into WKRP GPT. How much ad revenue did we have in 2023? So the system takes that question and then bounces it against the knowledge stores that it has and identifies the top results. It then packages up that knowledge that it found. So it identified total ad revenue is X amount, what are the sources, what's the ad revenue by month, what's by region, by package, and additional ad revenue information, and returns it all back to the system. So it's not yet with Carol. She doesn't yet have the answer, but the system, WKRP GPT, then takes her data and augments the prompt. So now we've gone through the retrieval. Now we're at the augmentation, augmenting the prompt with both the question or the prompt, how much ad revenue did we have in 2023, with the knowledge, which is all the detail that came back from her internal knowledge store around total ad revenue by month, by region, by package, additional details. So this response or this information, the prompt or the question and the knowledge that came back from the knowledge repository is packaged up and sent into ChatGPT. Not the external ChatGPT, but the ChatGPT language model that could be leveraged in multiple sources, whether it's Azure or another source. And then that model takes the knowledge and the question and generates a response. So now what we have is something that's easier to digest. In 2023, total ad revenue was $1 million. Here's a breakout based on the platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Is there any other information I can provide? Now that's just a summarization just for illustrative purposes, but that information is then sent back to Carol. She has the answers that she needs, and then she could ask follow-on questions like, can you break out the LinkedIn revenue by month, by region, by package? It would have, presumably based on this use case, it would have that information. Can you break out the YouTube data? Can you break out the Facebook? Can you provide other information? The amount of knowledge that can come back is significant, and then you can ask follow-up questions where you're going back to the data store to get additional information. So the RAG model gives you the ability to leverage all of your corporate data and the power of generative AI. There's no training, there's no fine-tuning required for the model to generate the response. Plus you get the benefit of being able to pull data from multiple data sources to get the best answers. So that's a RAG model for you.